A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapientia on Star Times channel 260. Today is Thursday, the 15th of May 2025. My name is Joe Igbo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has announced that 379,997 candidates in Lagos and the 5 southeast states of Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Abia would receive the 2025 UTME after admitting that some errors marred the examination. The Edo State Task Force has demolished a property on College Road, Aduwanwa, Benin City, linked to a notorious kidnapping gang. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has refuted allegations of fraud in the administration of the student loan scheme managed by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFUND. And the Southeast Zonal Caucus of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has threatened mass defections if the party continued to disregard its nomination of Sunday Udoe Okoye as National Secretary. Now the details of the news. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has announced that 379,997 candidates in Lagos, Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Abia states would receive the 2025 UTME after admitting that some errors marred the examination. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloide said the errors, which he attributed to a combination of human and technical hiccups, were discovered after a review. Addressing newsmen in Abuja yesterday, Professor Oloide apologized to Nigerian students, parents, and schools affected for the errors and said the affected candidates will receive SMS messages or notifications. The JAMB board said 65 centers comprising 206,610 candidates were affected in Lagos zone, while 92 centers comprising 173,387 candidates were affected in Owerri zone, which comprises the 5 southeast states. According to statistical analysis released by JAMB, the performance of candidates in the 2025 UTME is Nigeria's third worst since 2016. In the breakdown, out of the 1.9 million candidates, over 1.5 million or 78.5% scored below 200 out of the maximum 400 marks. Meanwhile, the National Public Relations Officer of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Mr. Samson Ajasa Adeyemi, has demanded the resignation of the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloide. Adeyemi made the demand in a Facebook post yesterday after Oloide broke down in tears as he apologized for errors in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME. At a press briefing in Abuja, the JAMB registrar said he took full responsibility for the negligence of his staff, revealing that 65 centers in Lagos and 92 centers in Owerri zone, covering the 5 states in the southeast, would rewrite the examination. However, Adeyemi said Oloide's tearful apology could not undo the havoc wreaked by JAMB's error. He referenced the case of a 19-year-old Timi Lehin Faith Opesushi, a candidate that reportedly died by suicide over her low score in the just concluded UTME. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of 5 resident electoral commissioners or RECs submitted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March this year for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The confirmation followed the receipt and consideration of a report by the chairman of Senate Committee on Electoral Matters during plenary yesterday. Presenting the report on behalf of the committee, Senator Simon Lalong urged the Senate to confirm the nomination of 5 individuals as resident electoral commissioners for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), having passed the screening exercise. The approved RECs are Umar Yusuf Garba, Kano State; Saad Umar Idris, Bauchi State; Chukwuemeka C. Ibeziako, Anambra State; Omar Mukhtar Borno State, and Dr. Johnson Alalebo, Sinikiem, Bayelsa State. The Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested a 21-year-old woman, Fatima Salisu, for allegedly trafficking a large cache of ammunition. Police Public Relations Officer SP Ramhan Namsel confirmed in a statement that the suspect was apprehended during a routine stop-and-check operation at Azuba, a suburb of Lafia, the state capital. Investigations revealed that Fatima received the consignment in Rukubi village, Doma local government area, and was en route Katsina State, allegedly to deliver the ammunition to criminal elements. The Nasarawa State Commissioner of Police, Shetima Mohammed, said the suspect is currently in custody undergoing interrogation as authorities work to uncover those behind the trafficking operation. Commissioner Mohammed reiterated the police command's resolve to rid the state of criminal activity and urged the public to support security agencies by reporting suspicious activity. The Edo State Task Force has demolished a property on College Road, Aduwawa, Benin City, linked to a notorious kidnapping gang. The property belonged to a woman whose younger brother, Osamede Asemota, is a key leader of the gang. Asemota, who was arrested by the authorities, confessed to his involvement in kidnapping activities. He revealed that his last mission earned him 350,000 naira and that he kidnapped a woman from her store at Ramat Park, taking her to a bush along Abo Road. The gang, comprising 5 members, had been responsible for several kidnapping incidents in the Aduwawa, Eyan, and Auchi bypass axis of Benin City. Asimota's sister, who owns the demolished property, is said to be unaware of her brother's activities as she resides abroad. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has refuted allegations of fraud in the administration of the student loan scheme managed by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, or NELFUND, insisting that recent claims by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission were inaccurate. Alausa made the remarks after a closed-door meeting in Abuja with vice-chancellors, officials of the National Universities Commission, NELFUND, representatives, and officials from the Ministry of Education. The ICPC had earlier announced it was investigating discrepancies in student loan disbursements, stating that only 28.8 billion naira of the 100 billion naira released by the federal government for the scheme had reached students, leaving 71.2 billion naira unaccounted for. The minister pledged the federal government's continued commitment to a transparent, efficient, and student-centered approach in managing educational funding. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, has threatened to sue the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, over the mass failure recorded in the 2025 UTME. Briefing newsmen in Nsukka yesterday, Oyibo Eze, chairman of ASU UNN, claimed the mass failure, which mostly affected candidates from the southeast, was a deliberate attempt by JAMB to stop children from the zone from gaining admission into higher institutions. As they said, ASU would challenge the 2025 UTME result in the High Court if JAMB failed to give candidates their merited scores. He said that in the JAMB recently released results, out of 1.9 million candidates who sat for the 2025 exam, over 1.5 million candidates scored less than 200, and the majority of them are from the southeast and Lagos State, where many Igbos reside. He called on governors from the southeast to rise and challenge this injustice targeted towards preventing children from the zone from gaining admission into higher institutions in the country. Oyibo advised JAMB to act fast to do the needful by reviewing the results, adding that the mass failures had become a national embarrassment which might attract national protest if nothing urgent was done. Still on education, the National Universities Commission, NYSC, has granted Benue State a provisional license to establish a new state university, bringing the total number of state-owned universities in Nigeria to 68. The Executive Secretary of the NUC, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, presented the license yesterday to the State Deputy Governor, Samuel Ode, who represented Governor Hyacinth Alia at the ceremony. Ribadu announced that the newly established institution, Benue State University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, located in Ihu, Vandekia local government area of the state, becomes the second university owned by the Benue State government. He noted that with this addition, Nigeria now has a total of 299 universities. The crisis within the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) deepened yesterday as the Southeast Zonal Caucus issued a stern warning of possible mass defections if the party continued to disregard its nomination of Sunday Ude Okoye as National Secretary. This warning was contained in a communique read by the Zonal Chairman, Chief Ale Odefa, after the Zonal Executive Committee meeting held at the Government House in Enugu. Enugu State Governor and PDP leader in the zone, Dr. Peter Mba, called for unity, while PDP Board of Trustees Chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, and former Imo State Governor Chief Achike Udenwa condemned what they described as sustained marginalization of the region by the party. The caucus warned that it would be compelled to reconsider its relationship with the PDP if the party continued to ignore the region's demands. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced that 379,997 candidates in Lagos, Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Abia states would receipt the 2025 UTME after admitting that some errors marred the examination. The Edo State Task Force has demolished a property on College Road, Aduawa, Benin City, linked to a notorious kidnapping gang. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has refuted allegations of fraud in the administration of the student loan scheme managed by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, or NELFUND. And finally, the Southeast Zonal Caucus of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has threatened mass defections if the party continued to disregard its nomination of Sunday Ude Okoye as National Secretary. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Thanks. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.